dude, freaking dope. I was like,
yeah, man.
not worried,
The dude's educated as okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and hear what I missed.
Yeah,
you
man.
missed
He
so much.
dropped some hammers, dude.
He dropped some knowledge. But it was cool because like I honestly wasn't like too sure. I wanted to almost come in like not dumb to the idea, but I didn't want to come in and like, oh, I listen to this, I listen to this, I listen to this. Because I listened to some stuff, and then when he joined the Discord, I was like, I want to start listening to his things, but then I also want to like come into it like I have no
Fresh
idea,
eye.
just like the listener, just first time listening to anything Dogman related,
Yeah.
you know. So
I kind of want to learn.
yeah, I think he came in and broke it all down pretty well, and I think it will make it for like the first time viewer, first time listener to be
Took
like,
us on a journey, bro. Took us on a journey.
I know. It's
First
like
time
we
caller,
had
long time listener.
yeah, he's a first time, long time. No, but our What's in Your Cup segment turned into a What's in Your Blunt segment.
Yeah, my bad. Yo, I kind of jumped the gun. I think I pissed off Cole a little bit, but
No.
I went for it.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. There's little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. I am not asking your newspapers to support, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. To the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
You guys are watching and listening to the SpeakInCOAD Podcast. I'm Code, Conspiracy of a Dead Man, and we are going to get into this. We have our first guest. This is our first episode of the year. It feels good to be back, hopefully. And we're going to have a guest. We're going to introduce him. We're going to start talking about Dogman. We're going to figure this stuff out. So we're definitely pumped to start getting into this side of the conspiracy realm and learn a little bit about cryptids or learn about what other people think about the topics and stuff too. Hopefully this year is going to be the year of the guests, kind of like the Chinese zodiac, but a little different, the podcast zodiac signs. So this time we are going to be introducing to the stage. I have the reigning, defending, unified podcasting champion, Chente.
Yo, I don't know about champion, but I'm around, bro. I'm around.
Yeah, I think we're going for that title that TBD got, but maybe we'll have the tag team titles, and he could be the intercontinental or heavyweight title.
All right, yeah, we'll go for it. Cruiserweight, right, I'll cruiserweight.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna get into it today. We have on a special guest, and we're waiting on TBD. He's gonna join us in the near future. He's got some stuff going on right now, so as soon as he gets some quiet time, he's gonna log into this, and we'll bring him in and get him kind of caught up to speed with everything too. But I'd like to introduce our first guest of the year, our first time having a guest from outside of our friend group that we actually know in person and stuff. He is the North American Dogman Project Maine Rep. We've been talking about Dogman recently and kind of getting into it the last few months and stuff and wanting to learn a little bit more. So let me introduce you guys to Kenny Thibodeau.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. How we doing?
Good, man.
What's going on, man?
Not too bad. Just plugging away on some research and the goods.
Nice.
All right. So, if I may, I'm gonna start because I know I see you on the Discord. So
Whoa,
I mean, you never.
wait.
No,
Wait,
no,
wait.
I gotta get this out. You're never not researching, man. I feel like you come in heavy.
No, I appreciate that. Basically, my goal is to try to just really help get North American Dogman Project back on the map. And also, I'm working on a book, which is basically like a database too. And I have it's like 480 pages with encounters from all across the world. I mean, obviously, I'm specializing in North America, but I have a friend from Scotland that I've been working with to Deborah Hatswell, aka Lilith. So she really feeds me a ton of information over from the UK. So when it comes to Dogman, wherever it is, I'll document it because that's my specialty. But obviously, I'm located up in the Northeast, so I do specialize in the United States. But
All right, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to. Man, you said 480 encounters.
Well, 480 pages. So I've broken it down into actually, I think I have the right here, my map. I have it broken down from the Northwest, the Southwest, the Midwest, the South, the Southeast, the land between the lakes, the Great Lakes area, and then the Northeast. So
Right.
what I try to do is I'll listen to, like I said, I just deal with the dog man. So I'll listen to anyone, but say if someone approached me about something outside of the topic of the dog man, I would gear them in the right direction, but I don't document that. But also on the same note, when it comes to dog man, I'll listen to anyone. But again, when I do document things, obviously I tend to feel out the individual first, because unfortunately you do get some people that want to bamboozle you. But if I feel like it's definitely legitimate and the person's sincere, when it comes to documentation, aliases are fine because I mean a name's just a name, but I really do need date. It doesn't have to be like July 4th, but I mean, is it 2020? Was it December? I mean, any details like that help. So that way, when I'm documenting it and pinging it on the Google Maps, you're
Right.
able to just go in and keep it in format. So say if I ever, sent you my book and things like that, things are documented by
Right.
dates and locations and stuff. So
All right. Nice. All right. Yeah, all right, Code. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, you're good, dude. I just wanted to do the intro and stuff first.
Yeah,
And
my
then,
bad. My bad, y'all.
no, you jump in, you're deep diving too soon. No, but so usually we do a segment called "What's in Your Cup," where we just get a cup. I mean, for you it might be "What's in Your Blunt," but we'll
Yeah.
Oh,
see
shit.
how it come out. But it's pretty much just the icebreaker that we do for us and our guests, just to get to know each other a little bit. I mean, I've talked to you quite a bit in the Discord and stuff, and through our
Yeah, you
like
can shoot me a
DMs and
text too if you ever want. I mean, I'll fire you my number. I mean, I definitely check all my stuff, but text messages tend to come before like Facebook Messenger and Discord just because it's in my face. So
yeah, definitely. And Chente, he joined the Facebook page. I don't have Facebook, but I
no, I
definitely started
appreciate
following
that.
everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that way he can kind of fire back to you because honestly, my YouTube and that Facebook group is where I put everything dogman oriented. And I mean, I'm never gonna call somebody out directly, but if
Yeah.
people are posting fakes, I definitely take the videos that are fake and list them as fakes because I think that's super important for individuals to realize that it has been debunked. So we need to stop using it as, hey, look at the Michigan dog man. No, that image has been debunked like 5 years ago. Why is this still a thing? So
Okay.
yeah. So I try
Nice.
to
That's
like
awesome.
yeah, just try to really break it down with, and I always use the word potential, like potential dogman evidence, meaning we have been unable to clarify what type of footprint it is or which predator caused the wounds on the animals, etc. But we also have albums of known animal prints where our tracker for the group has been able to uh, figure out whether they're a wolf, domesticated dog, squirrel, raccoon prints, and so yeah, that's really what we're just trying to do is make everything as easily oriented for individuals as possible, and just being able to properly put out good information because it is super unfortunate with some of the uh, bigger content creators and things. They tend to push out things that aren't necessarily valid, I guess. Which is to each their own, but that's what I really want to try to do, is just make sure when I put my stamp of approval on something, or the North American Dogman stamp of approval, it's not already been debunked. Because I mean, if someone's using something that's been debunked, it's not necessarily meaning that they're trying to push that narrative. They could just be uneducated in the aspect of knowing it's been debunked. But like I said, it's super important that getting it out there. Like, I mean, a couple images I can give you examples of is there was the Beast of Bray Road, where it ended up being a taxidermied wolf with skeletal arms coming out of it, and then somebody else, excuse me, was using an image that was actually from Skyrim, where one of the first times you see the werewolf come in the shadows and stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So things like that. Another person used a statue from The Howling and was able to kind of put it behind like a telephone pole and get the distance where it looked like it was an actual dogman from the correlation. But when you break it down, you see it's an actual statue, and the statue matches it perfect. So just things like that. It's just really important to get those specs out there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, not to jump ahead or cut you off or anything, but can you tell us like kind of like what got you, or how long you've been doing this for, and then
Yeah, for sure.
what kind of piqued your interest with how you got started with this?
So pretty much when I was 11, when I should have been, in class doing like my homework and stuff, I would just get a library pass claiming that I would go do my homework down there. And one of the librarians actually knew my mom and stuff. And I thought I was a good kid. So I didn't really necessarily get to get total special access, but there was a computer that, she knew what I was browsing. It was selective as to what I could like get online, because she knew I thought cryptids were cool. But the majority, almost every library computer, you could only use like word processor and things like that. You couldn't just like get on and search the internet. You had to pretty much go in the librarian's office in that little side room. But she knew that I took interest in it. And growing up, I always kind of thought Sasquatch and Bigfoot was cool, but I would say I didn't lose interest, but I would say it's in the right hands now. So there's nothing I can do to bring or shed more light to it, because people such as myself did the legwork and got it into the right hands with Jeff Meldrum, the late John Bindernagel, and other people that are really solidified in the scientific field. And now you actually have people looking at it and finding the dermal ridges on tracks and things. So it's in a good place. So that's what I mean about no longer kind of taking interest, because there's nothing I can bring to that. So it actually, around the time though, when I was looking into that, I had heard about the Dogman. So the North American Dogman Project, I was in the library and I would, go to their webpage and stuff. And I learned about Jody Cook and everything else that they had been doing. And Jody's been looking into the Dogman, I believe, since like 1991. And he would, so pretty much in my eyes, you had like really three OGs when it comes to like the Dogman. You had Linda Godfrey, who unfortunately has passed away recently as well, but she was the first person to really bring light to the Beast of Bray Road and start documenting all that in like the late 80s and early 90s. And then you had Jan Thompson. Again, unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Rest in peace as well. She was from the Kentucky, Tennessee area, and she was actually the first person to speak to the two officers outside of the crime scene with the LBL massacre of the family of four. And then you have Jody Cook, who started, like I said, looking into it in 1991 and started up the North American Dogman Project, I believe, back in 2001. So he's pretty much like been a really good asset and helpful mentor to myself, because I'm really good friends with him now and I talk to him all the time and work hand in hand with him. But growing up, I didn't have that luxury. I would just read things he had published and written, and I learned a ton from that. So I really wanted to, I don't know. So for about 15 years now, I've just had a ton of stuff in my head and things written down and just sent to me and things I just kind of researched, but it was just all misconstrued, I would say. So about maybe 3 months ago, I made a post just about something I'd come across about the Palmyra Dogman incident up in northern Maine, near Rangeley. And I posted that in one of the North American Dogman groups. And Shane Michael Crisp actually approached me, and he's one of my best friends now. Great guy too. He runs the West Coast Dogman Project, which is a subchapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that's not the same as the Dogman Vortex podcast?
Yes, it is. It's him. That's
Okay,
Shane.
cool. All
Yep.
right.
Yep. And so he recruited me because he thought that I had a pretty informative post, and from there got me in touch with Jody, and ever since then I've just been basically I'm like the historian / journalist, graphics designer, videographer of the group. I do get out and about around Maine to talk to people that have had encounters and things like that. But I'm also more of like an analytical guy. I pin the maps, look at the maps, find correlations as to whether people are missing and why potentially they're going missing in those areas, etc.
Okay.
Just a player in the game. Dang. Big dog.
I'm trying, my friend. It's definitely been a cool opportunity, and it's also great to have on my resume that I've been able to work on a book and do some journalist aspects and things like that, because in life in general, everyone wants, I don't know, solidification as to why they should bring you on board or speak to you or etc. So it's just definitely good to have some specs, to be able to put up for sure.
No doubt. No doubt. You said, so do you have a book or are you writing one?
So it's in the process. So what I've been advised to do and what I am going to do is when I do find a proper publisher and stuff, I'm going to break it down. So like I had told you, into the regions. So I will publish one about the Northwest. So that would be about Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. And then, for example, the Southwest would be like California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. So I'm going to move that per section. And what I'll do is probably keep the book maybe no more than like 200 pages per book, just because it is a niche of individuals. The average person might not even have a clue as to what cryptids are, etc. But the ones that are going to be interested, have the encounters in there, have some castings and footprints that have been taken and things like that. But also it's always going to be a collective continuance because I'm always documenting things. So that's what I mean about always ongoing. I'm always going to have the actual original file of the 400 and plus pages and be able to sit down with people and use that. But whereas, when you're doing a book, you do have to get to a point of publishing it and things like that. But it's alive and ongoing, like basically organic things. So it's always going to be updated and potentially, if things are debunked, like removed, etc.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's super sick, man. And I just looked up the Beast of Bray Road thing. I never even heard of that before. So the cryptids aren't really like my forte. Mine's more of like I've been getting a lot more into like symbolism because of Chente and stuff, but we'll look into like occult symbolism in music, or like movies and TV shows.
That's cool.
And then there's some other ones that I wanted to get into too, but that was one of the reasons why we wanted to bring you on, was some of the cryptids and stuff, like we weren't too sure what's considered a cryptid. One of our buddies was like, "Oh, Godzilla." I'm like, "No, that's a movie character, dude."
So basically, a cryptid can be classified as even the Tasmanian tiger. It's basically something that isn't solidified as existing. at the moment. So that would be like a cryptid. A cryptid is just something that hasn't, again, like I said, been solidified to exist or isn't documented as a living, existing, or real creature. So when it comes to that, like I said, I only document the Dogman. That's what I focus my time on. So a lot of other people will dive into a ton of different topics, which is totally cool. But I feel that to bring proper light to it, you need to not them, but just me. I need to focus on what's presented in front of me. So honestly, I probably will never work on another cryptid or any other topic besides Dogman until I feel like it's in good hands and also I've achieved what it is I want to achieve. And then I might look out at something else, but I will say if I ever did look at anything else, it would probably be the Jabba Fofi, which is the large spider that's down in like the Amazon and the Congo areas. Yeah. So, but like I said, just right now, that's all I do is focus on the Dogman. People don't really, so Sasquatch and things like that gets like the big mainstream, and it's almost as if the Dogman phenomenon has fallen through the hands of history and society. But that really shouldn't be the gist of it, because you have some of your original sightings back in like 500 BC in Greece. You have people like Herodotus speaking about it. You have Alexander the Great speaking about battling with and against these dog-like creatures that were unable to speak language, but they would yip and bark, and they had human-like hands and would wear like shaggy type clothing, and they could communicate back with you. Christopher Columbus speaks about it. There were supposedly tribes of these animals or hominoids, whichever you would prefer, in northern Africa as well as India. You just have a ton of Native American and indigenous cultures that speak about it, referring to it. So it's there, but for some reason, the general public thinks there's no oral history or documented history about the Dogman, but there actually is. And when you look at cultures like the Greeks and Romans, I mean, what were they obsessed with? Expanding and becoming great and achieving greatness. So when it came to documenting things, the majority of the Roman and Greek cultures wouldn't have looked upon that as really being relevant. So they only tended to document things that were actually real and of value. So if you were to look at someone documenting those Dogmen, like I just said, Alexander the Great doesn't have time to worry about basically like folklore tales and like R.L. Stein type like Goosebumps and things like that, man. Like he's trying to achieve and expand his empire. So for him to even take the time to speak to somebody about that is a tremendous waste of time if it's not truthful. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Chente, you got any questions at all for him so far?
No.
Is that cool with
But
you?
I would like to say that I never heard about Dogman, but I heard someone tell a story about it on a podcast.
Yep.
And then once that happened, me and Coach talked about it, and then you came in with you have so much information that you have.
Appreciate it,
Definitely
man.
check out the YouTube. So it's a heavy hitter, I feel, in the cryptid world once you look it up. Like, it doesn't take that long. Just Google that shit and
you see it. And I agree with you 100%, because just because I'm a Dogman researcher and things to give it clout, but honestly, there's just as much evidence to support Dogman as there are to support UFOs and Sasquatch. I mean, any sort of the big time type of unknowns you can think of, the Dogman's got the clout for that. So, for example, like things like Chupacabra, Loch Ness Monster, I mean, those things, not to shun any of those, but there are light years more evidence about Dogman than any of that stuff. And still to this day, people, will think of Loch Ness Monster as a big hitter in the cryptid world, but there's like, man, the evidence on that compared to Dogman is almost laughable.
I mean, people can make money off of the Loch Ness monster. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, 100%, because yeah, you know, you got the marketing aspects, which is, I understand it. I just think if researchers or people, if we're going to even bother speaking about the unknown or things like that, like we might as well do it correctly. And man, the Dogman's got a ton of stuff, and it's been being slept on. And I almost think there's that's on purpose to an extent, because obviously, just like with anything else, a lot of people will be like, hey, why doesn't the government come out and just, you know, say things? So, I mean, the government, for example, it has admitted UFOs exist, but people also need to realize the vast majority of people kind of have fragile eggshell type minds. They go to work, they come home with their family, and they don't think outside of the box. So if you look back in, remember War of the Worlds, when they read that over the radio, people actually thought that was real and started killing themselves and jumping out of buildings and literally thinking the world was ending. So imagine if the government sat down and had a big press conference. It's like, yes, we do know extraterrestrials exist, but we really can't do anything about it. So yeah, you all have a good day. How is 90% of the world going to handle that? So again, with Dogman, okay, yeah, so all right, everybody. Yes, there is a large unknown canine running through our parks that we are potentially experimenting on. And yeah, they eat people, but you guys have a great day. How is everyone going to react to that?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think Hollywood played a factor in that too, with like werewolf movies?
So basically, this is just kind of like my thought, because, you know, no one's in my eyes really a expert on a topic that hasn't been able to be classified as existing yet. But I tend to look at, when people use the term werewolf, I think that they're referring to like skinwalkers, meaning that a male or female that potentially are diving into like the dark arts and that are able to take on the form of that, because that would cause you to transform like a werewolf. But you also don't need a full moon or silver bullets, for example, to turn into one or be disposed of. That was kind of like your Hollywood twist on it. But I believe werewolves are skinwalkers, and I believe dogmen are in that form. They are like the, you know, the ones that Alexander the Great and
they never change out of the form.
A race, like a race of their own, a being of their own.
Yes,
I guess.
yes. So if you look at, I got to learn how to say it, because there's an act. It's so hard to say it, and I'm a stickler for not using words unless I'm properly able to articulate them. But there was an animal. A lot of people don't realize canines and bears are really closely related. And there was a point in time, there was an animal that was a split basically between both. Like, it wasn't a bear or a canine. And by looking at its skeleton, scientists and paleontologists believe that it could probably pretty much easily have walked quadrupedally and bipedally by the way its hips were set up. And it had like longer front arms in comparison to like its back legs. So there are animals like that in history that kind of fall into the classification potentially as to what a dogman could be. Kind of how like a lot of people think Giganthoposis, the large ape, has a lot to do with Sasquatch potentially, or some sort of link in the missing chain that we have of evolution, etc. Yeah. So no, I don't think a dogman has the capability of, you know, mimicking us by any means. I definitely think when someone says werewolf, that or that lore is coming from the skinwalker aspect. But if I'm documenting something though, say you had a sighting and you say werewolf, as soon as I hear you say that, I know you're saying dogman and things like that, unless you're specifying, oh, I saw them putting on an ointment or something. I feel like werewolf is a term that people are just used to. Yes. So when they're like
comfortable with it, right?
Yes. It looked like a giant black werewolf. Well, I understand that they're talking about pointed ears, but I don't lead my eyewitnesses in any direction. I let them speak. based off of, what they've encountered. But it is super unfortunate. Humans, we are literally the worst eyewitnesses, just because our minds try to paint a picture as to what has occurred. So it's kind of like, say you're driving down the road, you think you see somebody, you're like, hey, that's so-and-so. And then you're like, yo, oh, wait, that's not them at all. Well,
Yeah.
your mind created that. And so same thing with being a child back in your childhood. Like, I can think of things right now and I'm like, oh, I remember that. But if I actually was able to be put back in that, the grand consensus of the memory is correct, but there's going to be like different things that my mind is kind of pieced together to create that. It's like if we took all three of us and didn't allow us to talk and we all witnessed something, but you can't talk to each other. And then we all went into a separate room after and had three separate people ask us what had occurred. We're going to all have the consensus as to what happened. But if we all saw a dog man, so you might have noticed the big shaggy tail. I might have been a bit like, what the hell is this? I'm just like in shock. I just noticed it was a huge werewolf type thing. And then, you might have seen, oh, I had long, lanky arms. Like, so everyone, is going to see something differently. So it's super important to speak to people when it's fresh. I mean, it's not that an older encounter isn't still beneficial, but like I said, over time, we just tend to create false memories.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. No,
Well put.
the other thing I was going to ask you too was, you do a podcast on your own too, don't you?
Yes. Actually, we just dropped our first episode. My friend Brookestirr and myself, we have one called Midnight Lycanthropy, and it comes out every Thursday at 12 a.m. And we just dive into the Dogman topic and try to filter out the nonsense and with the credible stuff. And once we get rolling a little bit more, we are going to start bringing on some guests. So we can definitely get you guys on there if you'd like to come on and talk about some stuff. But yeah, Brooks, great. She's I'm her co-host, and so we started it up, and hopefully we can kind of really get that proper information out there.
Nice.
Man. Do you guys live
Congrats.
locally, or do you guys
She's actually down in North Carolina, and I'm up in Maine. It's great. That's what's super cool about technology and stuff. I've been working with her for a few months now. She's a great researcher. She is super funny, and it's good because I guess I make the term of, I don't know how familiar you are with hockey, but in hockey we use a term of color commentary. So you, like, for example, I'm a Bruins guy, so Jack Edwards would be the guy that brings a little bit of humor to the topic, but he's still talking about hockey, for example. So she is still talking about the Dogman, but she is able to bring a little bit of the humor on it, which is really good because I'm more of the guy like Andy Brickley, who's more to the point. Yeah. So like Jack Edwards will be like, what kind of shot was that? Look at the can of corn. Like, just referring to a crappy shot with like the puck. But Andy Brickley will just be like, that was an awful turnover. The Bruins really need to focus on special teams right now. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we mesh so good because I don't know. She like I said, is eager to learn, and she's a great researcher, but she also has a really good aspect of just bringing a little bit of some comic relief on a topic that could be viewed as overwhelming to people, I guess.
Okay. And then the other thing I was going to ask too was, I'm trying to think how to.
Yeah, you should definitely check out some of her stuff too. I mean, check out our podcast, but you'll see what I'm saying. Like, she's just really good at that because, I don't know. I just feel like I bring the encounter aspect, so people that are coming into it and hearing like the darker sides of it. I mean, I don't know. Everyone handles things differently, so it's good to have like I said, a little bit of the yin and yang. There we go. That was the term.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So shout out Brooke. Her delivery is fire.
Right?
I'm sure you guys will do well.
Yeah. No, thanks. I appreciate it. She's super great, man, and that's what I really want to do is just find a good niche of people and just really try to collaborate and stuff because I don't know, I've just run in it's unfortunate, but I run into a ton of people that just seem to not have the time to even speak to me, which is what it is. But I don't know, man. I just feel like that's such a poor way to go amongst things. And I just appreciate people such as yourselves and people like Brookestirr, that North American Dogman Project, take the time to actually listen to you, because it's unfortunate, man. When you try to reach out to people that you could potentially share really good stuff with them, but they either don't answer you or skip on to the next topic in their Discord or something, and it is what it is. But yeah, like I said,
I'm just kidding. I had to do a little dig to our other host who's not with us right now.
That's awesome. No, I never like I said, I'll never ever be one to ever publicly, bash anyone and things like that. So that's why I never put names on things. But there's just been some people I really looked up to that I tried to reach out, and that they had invited me to their Discord and things like that. And I would, post things and try to ask how I could communicate with that individual. And then they wouldn't respond to me, but then I would see them respond to somebody else's topic in their Discord. So, it is what it is, but I just I was like, all right, well, that's cool. I mean, but why, I guess, am I going out of my way to support that individual in their Discord, I guess? So that just kind of got me to start wanting to really just try to work on my own thing and work with the people that did take the time to speak to me, and not really worry about reaching out to others, because I have a pretty good core now and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's good. Sure.
Say, you guys?
What was it?
I don't know. I'm hearing like bass. Like, I don't know if it was upstairs or I was like, oh shoot. I was gonna ask you too, is there any, like, all right, for example, I've heard like a couple podcasts here and there. Like one of them was Tony Merkel. He's talked to a lot of people about Dogman and stuff. And I think I don't know if that's where me and you came in contact with each other, from his or somebody else's channel.
It could have been. It was either through there or maybe like Counter Cult Podcast or the Lore Lodge. I think maybe it was definitely in one of those ones.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I started following and putting mine in Tony's, like I put our link or whatever in Tony's Discord channel too, like under other Discords and everything.
Yeah.
The one question I was going to ask, is there a specific interview from even another podcast that you really enjoyed and you're like, this is freaking dope? Because like I think that's kind of how I heard about Dogman, was through Tony Merkel was doing an interview with Sam Tripoli in the Tinfoil Hat Podcast guys.
Yep.
And he just kind of dropped the Dogman thing. I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, I always liked American Werewolf in London. Like, even as a kid, like out of all the scary movies I could watch American Werewolf in London. Plus they showed boobs. So, I mean,
so what if I told you there was some truth to that?
The boobs?
No, the American Werewolf in London. So the Moors, that's actually that was like a real bar, /tavern, and near the Black Mountains and the Moors over in Scotland during like the late 70s and early 80s, and even previous to that, people had been reporting seeing upright bipedal wolf-like black creatures with red eyes terrorizing the landscape. So that was actually a real tavern where the locals would come in and just shoot the shit about that. And they actually had some sightings there, and that's kind of how they came up with the idea of the American Werewolf in London.
That's super sick. Yeah, and I have my friend used to buy these like tin things. They were like movie posters, but they were like this little like 10 by 12 or whatever. And the ones that I do have, I have Rocky and I have the Slaughtered Lamb.
The Slaughtered Lamb. Yep. But yeah. So to answer your question though, I like pretty much every podcast I've been invited to, which is because I don't ever publicly say anything, but if I didn't like somebody, I wouldn't tell them that. I would just, say I was busy or something and I'd have to get back to you. So pretty much every podcast I've been on, I'm obviously like a fan of the individuals or the individual and, what they're doing and stuff. But I don't know. I'm having a lot of, I would probably say Brookestirr myself right now. I mean, because that's like our creation. So
Yeah,
that's like
it's your baby.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's what we're creating. So that's super good. But I don't know. I have a great time, talking to Jody and Shane too, though. So like I said, I mean, you guys are super cool. So I have a great time with the Counter Cult podcast. So yeah, I just pretty much, man. I mean, anyone you see me collaborate with, Matt Emch, Planet 412, he's the man. He's one of my really good buddies too. We haven't done any podcasts and stuff, but he's done a ton of narration for me.
Nice.
And yeah, he's the man, and I really enjoy talking to him and interacting with him as well. So yeah, no, pretty much like I said, if you see the Lyle Blackburn, he's the man. Anyone you see me collaborate with, I think super high of them.
Nice.
And give them my stamp of approval, because I wouldn't give them how can I say it? I wouldn't give them an additional platform on my platform if I didn't think they rocked, I guess.
For sure. No, but I meant like, sorry if I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, are there any interviews that you've heard, like other people talking with like other podcasters and stuff?
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
no.
or, like, this one you definitely got to check out. Like, if you want to learn about Dogman, like, definitely check out this one or this story or like this encounter. Like, these ones are like so much in depth.
Well, I mean, Matt Emch has a really good one with his Planet 412 encounter that he really gets into good details. Joe Barger, the Manistee National Forest trucker incident from 2017. He gets into some really good details as to what has happened. One of the gentlemen that was, I believe he was a sheriff deputy in Vidor, Texas, when some of the incidents happened back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. He recently was able to come out and speak after like a 25-year thing where he wasn't able to say anything. Yeah, and then listening to like Jan Thompson and them talk about the whole LBL incidents. Yeah, I mean, those are all extreme detailed encounters. So I would say, yeah, Midnight Century does really good with getting out the details of the encounters he documents and stuff like that too. So yeah, those are so that's what I mean about putting out the good stuff. It's not, I don't know. I just can't document something where, say, someone comes to me and is like, yeah, like I think it was 20 or 30 years ago, or sometime back in 1940s. Like, it just doesn't. Not saying that it didn't occur, but it doesn't help my topic. Like, if you were the scientific community and I tried to present that to you, that doesn't have merit. But if I'm able to show you, hey, this happened July 4th, 7:30 p.m. Northern Maine, right off of Route 1, and then I'm able to pull up the map. I'm able to show you, images of the area. That doesn't prove, but it then makes it a much better presentation where you're like, okay, interesting. Like, why was these three people who were in the general vicinity but didn't know each other, why were they all seeing something, in these weeks leading up to this and things like that?
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the one I was. Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
Nope, that's all you.
Shut up. The one that I really got into, I think the first time ever hearing it was the interview on Tony Merkel's podcast, and it was like some kid that was like raccoon hunting with his dogs.
Man. Yeah. Kyle and old Jake. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, man. I got that documented down in Kentucky. That's a pretty gnarly one for sure.
Oh, so all right. I was thinking that was North Carolina. That was Kentucky.
That was Kentucky.
All right. Hey, and just to give you a heads up, we got.
I mean, those are all near the same area, though, man. North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, man, like Ohio, like any of those areas where you're able to commute within like a reasonable time frame, man, you're gonna get that type of activity. So,
yeah. All right, cool.
Have you had an encounter?
I actually have never had any sort of unknown cryptid encounter. I've never seen a UFO or anything along the lines of that. No, I just.
Do you think you would be phased at all, or we'd be like, "Oh, I know what this is"? Yeah.
I I personally, I'm a person of science, man. So it's, yeah, I mean, seeing something obviously helps you understand it more, but then you just become another person that translates what it is you saw. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of some people having some traumatic type aspects from it. I guess haven't been put in their shoes to know the type of demeanor, but I'm a firm believer that things happen, man. I I mean, if you see it and it wants you, it's no different than if all three of us are hiking and a grizzly bear comes around the corner. I mean, we tried our best to not walk through the territory.
I'll be out, son. I'll be out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like, what are you really gonna do if it attacks you, man? I mean, it is what it is, like correct. So I'm a believer that if it's gonna get you, it's gonna get you. So no, I would definitely think it would be pretty intriguing to be able to kind of get some firsthand experience. But no, I mean, people ask me that all the time. They're like, so do you definitively believe? And I respond with, there are no definitives with anything in life, but I do 100% know people. Yeah, people have been documenting things since 500 BC. Just yesterday, I spoke to somebody that saw something that falls into line with what I'm documenting. So people are seeing something. Whether or not it is misidentification, sure, yes, some of the cases are. Is it prefabrication? Sure, some of the cases are. But then we fall into the cases where you have individuals that have literally zero to gain from the topic, hence Alexander the Great, or the judge from Ohio that is a well-respected judge that was just out running and jogging and had an interaction with it. He has nothing to gain off this. There's tons of people, or like the gentleman that's a plumber that reached out to me that doesn't even believe in cryptids or anything like that and can't really talk to his family about it because he didn't even know how to word it. Things like that. They don't have anything to gain off of that. So when you step back and look at all that, you're like, okay, well, obviously something is happening. Why are there so many sightings? Why is Christopher Columbus talking about it? Why are the Inuit cultures talking about the saber wolf in the Yukon Territory? Why are these things being spoken of? There obviously has to be some sort of correlation and some sort of truth to it. I mean, picture back in Alexander the Great time. Okay, I'm in America. You guys are in Europe. Okay, how are we going to communicate with each other? You guys can maybe walk like a month to each other, and if you make it, sure, you can be like, hey, did you see this thing? But how are you describing seeing the same thing that I'm seeing all the way over in America? Because I would have to get onto my boat and see you guys in 5 years if I'm lucky to tell you what I saw. So I mean, it's not like we can just get on a cell phone now and see what these things looked like. It's just really interesting to see all these cultures that didn't have interactions with each other at those points in times communicating about it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
The evidence is stacking.
It really is, man.
TBD just joined us. I'm going to add him to the stage.
TBD.
You ready, TBD? All right, cool. He's definitely going to have a bunch of questions for you. He loves the cryptid talk and the definitely like the werewolf. Werewolves are probably, if it wasn't for Twilight, I don't know. I'm just talking all this shit while he's trying to get his mic ready. It won't go. Yeah, I don't know why I can't unmute. Okay. Yeah, still don't hear you.
I had my mic muted. That's why you couldn't hear me. I had my mic muted.
It's all good, man.
I'm talking and I'm changing headphones, but yeah, I had my own mic muted. That's my fault.
Rookie mistake. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
FOMO.
We've been talking with Kenny Thibodeau, aka Star Fox, aka
Nice
the
to
North
meet you, sir.
American Dogman Project. Maine Rep.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, make sure you pop by and get it from Chente, man, and join the Facebook group. And also, if you do want to check out some things, you can always check out my YouTube as well. And I try to basically, I guess, answer as many questions as possible without ever having to speak in between both of those threads. Up on my Facebook, I put up all the evidence that we've either debunked or that we've been unable to provide clarity on. And on my YouTube, I sit down with eyewitnesses and put together testimonials, and then we ping it all on the Google Maps and try to get everything up on the North American Dogman Project page.
Okay.
So the one thing that I had a question about too was, do you think that they could potentially be dire wolves?
So I have actually heard some pretty interesting things too about how at one point in time there were North American hyenas that were also roaming around, and some of the depictions of Dogman, the type 3, are the upright walking bipedal hyena type ones. So yeah, like that potentially could definitely be, as I was saying, falling into the classification of misidentification. I would have to see, I guess, how long like potentially a wolf could walk upright, because there's definitely people that see these things walk 20, 30, 40, 50 yards upright with ease, or that they're chasing their car upright at like 45, 50 miles per hour. So yeah, I mean, unless I guess evolution had a massive ping that would allow them to stand upright for that period of time to do that. But when the people see them on all fours, where they see like a 4 or 5 foot wolf-like dog creature, yeah, that could definitely easily be a potential dire wolf still roaming around, kind of like how in the over in the Siberian continent, they still claimed that mammoths roam around in some of the isolated areas up there. So I mean, it's plausible for sure.
Okay.
TBD, you got any questions?
Not at the moment. let me hear more and some questions that come to me.
I got one. It might be kind of weird, but would it have anything to do with like Anubis in the Egyptian time? You know, it had like the dog head.
Yeah, so I do think Anubis potentially was a dogman,
Okay.
which would also fall into line as to you know, kind of like the soldiers, like I had spoke to you about in the Greek time around 500 BC, because they look very similar in regards to how they would act. And if you look at some of the old depictions of the Greek drawings, they definitely could look very Anubis-like. So yeah, no, I definitely think Anubis had something to do with a dogman orientation, because again, why does it look like how other people depicted it as well? So like, why are indigenous cultures in America, you know, why are they saying that it looked like this, but then a culture over in Egypt that had no connection with, you know, an indigenous culture, say in California, why are they having the same description about something? It's definitely intriguing for sure.
Right. Cool.
Is there a specific like type of dog for dogmen, or is it
Yeah,
kind of like all across all canine breeds?
So there are like the three, you know, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of variations, but you have your 3 big ones. You have your type 1, which looks more like the traditional Van Helsing type werewolf, the Howling Underworld, where it just looks like a traditional upright, dark gray, dark brown, jet black, pointed ears, you know, red, yellow, green eyes, just looks like a werewolf. And then you have your type 2, which looks just like a werewolf, but it looks like a German Shepherd. So it's still upright with the long arms, but it's got the coloration of a German Shepherd, the big German Shepherd type head. Like I said, though, it still has the bent back legs and the longer arms. It just has the appearance and coloration of either a black or normal colored German Shepherd. And then you have your type 3, which again stands and has a similar frame as a werewolf, but it is hyena looking, and has the colorations and the depictions of a hyena. And all 3 of them can vary in size. Some people see taller, lankier ones, which could be younger ones. Some people see hulking, bigger ones, which would just like in any wild animal. I mean, look at, you know, your apex wolf of the pack. The female, the male is going to be the largest one. That's why they're the apex. Like, you know, it's just like with anything. So, but yeah, no, the size variations will vary, but I mean, some say 6 to 8, 7 to 10 feet tall. Again, though, yeah, and then you have anywhere from 200 to 400. Some people say 500 to 600 pounds. So it's gonna like I said, vary obviously on the type of individual that they're seeing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
TBD has like a little white Pomeranian dog boy on the floor. Dog kid.
If
I was
that
gonna
thing
see
was 6 foot 300 pounds, oh man, it'd be horrifying.
yeah. You're like, I don't know if I'm outrunning that thing.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
we're definitely not outrunning that. No, for sure. I mean, like I said, there's people saying that it was keeping up with their car for at least
Jeez.
40 to 50 miles per hour for a good half a mile or so. So trying to get into the car, like opening the door and stuff while they're driving.
Jeez.
So I mean, it's got the athletic capability to obviously be capable of running, but then focusing on trying to open your door while still being able to stay upright, with a moving object. So it's definitely got some pretty solid agility.
I have heard stories where or interviews where the thing was clawing at the door as they were pulling away.
Yeah,
And
there's they tried door handles in normal houses, windows. One
Jeez.
couple told me that as it couldn't get into their door, it was pissed off. So as they're driving, it jumped up onto their hood and started smashing in their windshield. And another car was coming up in the distance. So as they were swerving, it had lost its grip and slipped off and kind of rolled off to the side of the road. And they went to the gas station. Their car was all smashed up. And then you have a couple different women that didn't know each other on Bray Road in Wisconsin. One woman was driving and thought she ran over something, got out and saw a huge werewolf looking at her from the woods, got back into her car. It tried to, same thing, get into her car, kept up with her for a while. Then you had another woman that had something thrown at her car. She stopped, got out, saw that basically the same creature, got back in. The thing jumped onto her trunk and was trying to hold on. And as she was driving, it ended up losing its grip. But when she got back to her house to show her husband, there was massive scratch marks all down the trunk and also the side fenders where it was trying to hold on, but he didn't believe her. He thought she just drove through some brush or something. So he told her to bring him back to the area. And apparently the creature was still there and he had he didn't want to get out after when he got there. And all of a sudden believed her afterwards. Yeah.
Dang.
Dude, it's like a territorial thing or?
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be the territorial aspects. I mean, any animal is territorial, but I think that it's just areas that it's going through. And I mean, if you're there, you're pretty much shit out of luck. But I also know that they are really intelligent and do try to set traps and things like that. I mean, I've documented over maybe 12 to 15 cases where people swear that they can see what it is, but it's like waving at them, expecting them to stop their car as if you're just going to let it in. And people either slow down or speed by, but then the thing lunges at their car and trying to get in. And then you have, so you have that going on. And then you have other people that have interactions or say that basically them and Sasquatch kind of have a lot of beef and push each other out of territories and things. So I think a lot of the encounters are, things just moving around like any animal does, but I would assume they would have their hunting areas or their preferred areas that they would, mark their territory, like a grizzly bear scrapes the bark or rubs his back up there,
So it's not like if you see one of these things, they're like, nah, no witnesses, and then they grab them.
So, yeah, I mean, all right. So if you look at like the Latin American cultures, definitely down in like Peru, Brazil, Argentina, areas like that, definitely huge down in South America. They speak of two different versions. You have the white versions with the blue eyes, which are the females, which are supposed to be the much more docile versions that are trying to intervene and basically break up the confrontation to allow people and things to get away. And then you have your black, dark brown males with the red eyes, the yellow eyes, which are the aggressive ones, which are basically in like the Latin culture, the ones that are taking people as well. So
Mhm.
same thing with up here. I believe that you probably have your rogues, basically like a lone wolf that has been kicked out of its pack, for example, for being a dink, and has probably grouped up with others that have a similar type mind frame like that. And I think, yeah, they're the ones that are taking the people in the national parks, because you also got to think that anything that's intelligent will know that if you are continuously taking people, what's going to happen? We're going to come looking for you. Correct. I mean, it's just what humans do. So, I mean, if people start continuously going missing at an alarming rate, people are going to come looking for you. So I do think it's some rogue ones. And I definitely think that they're all males, because if you look at almost every female, you have some species of animals where the females are the aggressive hunters, like lioness and things like that. But usually females have to protect themselves more because they are raising pups or babies and things like that. So they need to be there for their offspring.
Right.
So they're just not as they're not going to put themselves in those situations. So in almost every documentation I've documented of females, they're not aggressive, and it's really usually a quick kind of passing where they're with their pups or something. Every case I've documented where it's nefarious is a male dog man. It's whether it's a younger one or an older one. But yeah, no, they're definitely nefarious beings for sure. So
Right. Okay.
They're intelligent. Is it like human level intelligent,
so
or just
I
more
would
animalistic?
I honestly think they're just as smart as you and I, but I think they still have the animal tendency, meaning that I know for a fact the government has gotten their hands on some now, meaning I don't think they could get their hands on a Sasquatch, because Sasquatch are super spiritually type, like guardians of the forest, and they know when people and things are around. But I think a dog man is still, it knows, hey, that's a trap, but it smells meat. Hey, yeah, that's a big steak right there. Yum, 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 yum. It knows what it's walking into. Like a raccoon.
Risk game.
Yeah, raccoons are smart, man. Raccoons are super smart. But one of my friends was telling me before, he had raccoons that were giving him crap around his property. He had to catch them and relocate them. Literally, one of them would watch its buddy get caught because it loved the marshmallow and cat food so much. But it would go in and do the same thing literally just after its buddy's gotten caught. But raccoons can open doors and they're super smart. But it's just still the food kind of aspect. So yeah, no, I think they are smart, but I still think that they're gonna capitalize on free food, man. I mean, if you're just strolling by yourself through a national park and a dog man can snag you up, of course they're going to. I mean, why would they not?
Right.
I'm gonna pull some of your stuff up if that's cool with you.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
for sure, man.
I was gonna explain to TBD about the Beast of Bray Road. I think that would definitely be like up his alley, like that kind of stuff. Like it's really cool stories.
Yeah, no, man, that we'll definitely have to do a bunch of more collaboration and stuff. And like I said, my best suggestion, anyone that would like to, learn things without having to directly speak to anyone, definitely check out the Facebook group and the YouTube and stuff. But I'm definitely always available to, speak and interact with people. But I definitely try to make it whereas I can teach as much as possible without having to directly interact as well, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry I didn't pull these up sooner. I was trying to, for some reason it wouldn't let me
You're good. Yeah, no, that's some of the
Sure.
art I've worked on. Yeah.
man. You created all this yourself?
Yeah, so what I do is so I actually have a ton of different AI and editing apps that I can do. So I can pretty much recreate anything and also
Okay.
change specs. And then if I don't like something, I can go in and also morph it even more. So for example, like with some of those, what you do is you use your words, but if you don't like it, you just then run it through a bunch of different apps and recreate what it is you want. So I'll say if I liked a scene from like Dog Soldiers or something like that, I would just use that terminology. And if that movie is in one of their AI bases, it will help me come up with like what I want to create.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't let
That's
anyone
nice.
fool you, man. You still got to go in and, I mean, all those images, I've still gone and I played with all the contrast. I played in
Oh,
the
for sure.
the focus, like the fog in the background. So there's still, like, I mean, AI will give you some cool stuff, but I don't know. You definitely,
You still got to put in the work.
yes.
Like, this is sick, man. This is all of this stuff is really cool. I like it a lot.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's like your type 2 German Shepherd looking one right there.
Yeah.
All right, type 2.
This
That
kind of
was
reminds me of
actually-
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that's more your traditional one.
Speaking of London, like how many different countries have myths of Dogman?
I think I have almost every country, from China, Japan. I mean, there's probably a few in there that I haven't, had cases from, but man, I've had cases from Russia, all over the place, man. Siberia, which is a part of Russia, sorry. But yeah, they're Australia, New Zealand, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure if I looked like country per country on a map, there's some that haven't been inspected there. But I mean, So if you go back to that other one right there, that's what I was telling you about right there. So
This
the
one here?
bottom, the bottom one right there shows you all the cave systems in blue that have been actually discovered and published to the general public. And if you look up to the top, that's where all the people are going missing in Dogman territories.
That's very interesting.
Hmm.
I wonder how many of those are like national parks too, kind of like the missing 411 kind of thing.
So that's I actually have a big theory on that. I think a lot of those missing 411 individuals are being snagged up by Dogman, like the Dennis Martin case, for example. You had another family seeing a small boy being carried off by quote unquote a bear man or a dog or a big wolf man.
Okay. Yeah, this Bray Road one, man. I definitely want to get more into this stuff. This stuff sounds cool.
Yeah, man, that's a big.
I mean, it
stretch.
all sounds awesome, by the way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's a big stretch through Wisconsin, man. Bray Road is super big, man. That's where Linda Godfrey pretty much like really put the Dogman on the map.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, and I saw the one in Defiance, Ohio. I don't know where that's at actually.
That's actually so Defiance, Ohio. Jody's from Cincinnati, Ohio. The gentleman that started the North American Dogman Project. But yeah, Ohio's got a bunch of crazy stuff, man. From Helltown to Defiance to Germantown. It's it's pretty gnarly down there.
We literally had a whole show about like weird things that happened in Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So which one is which right there? You wanted to ask me?
Yeah, because you said there's type 1, type 2, type 3, kind of like diabetes.
Yes. So if you look at the last one right there to the right, that is supposed to be like the Michigan Dogman. And then if you go over to the left, all the way to the left is supposed to be like the Beast of Bray Road. And then the middle one is supposed to be the Land Between the Lakes Dogman.
Okay. Man. Now, this one on the far right, would that be more of like the German Shepherd type? And then the one in the middle be more like the bear mix?
Yes. So the one in the middle would be just basically like your larger kind of like a werewolf, like, yeah, just a larger size one, man. And then, yeah, like the hyena type ones could be either, your third or your first in regards of they just, like I said, eyewitnesses kind of tend to sometimes have a little bit of we just don't always remember the specs. But if you do look at all their legs, they're all bent back like canine type legs and things like that. So, but
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, okay, here's some other ones. Thanks for sending all this, by the way. I was like, I gotta pull some stuff up. I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. And that's like just kind of showing you like the difference in like sizes, compare, like how it can be, like I said, 6 to 8, 10 to 11.
Yeah.
And then that's just in comparison with a pretty normal sized human.
Jeez. I would come up to the smaller one's belly button.
That's like if a dog stood up and looked me in the eye, man. That would be a trip. That would be a trip, bro.
A huge dog,
no,
like a
definitely.
Great Dane standing up.
Yeah.
Question for you: is there any correlations between like Dogmen and Skinwalkers?
So, yeah, no, I actually touched on that earlier. I tend to think that werewolves and skinwalkers are one and the same. And I think that's pretty much where Hollywood kind of got the twist of the werewolf taking shift. Like skinwalkers, male or female, can dive into, the darker arts and things like that and take on the form of what it is that they're trying to. So that would that would basically, in my eyes, fall in the category of a werewolf and transforming. But a dogman, I don't believe transforms. I think it just stays literally in that in its
That one
animal
shape.
form. Yes.
Now, what's the Beast of Bodmin?
Bodmin. So that was actually one of the original encounters that had happened, and that's a European encounter. And just a bunch of people were losing farm animals, pets at an alarming rate, and they weren't even being consumed. They were just literally being ripped apart and thrown all around, which a lot of people don't realize. Predators are hypochondriacs, meaning you can't really afford to be injured. I mean, if you're a pack animal, maybe, because either A, your pack will help you nurture you back to health, or they'll eat you or cut you loose because you are a weak link to what it is they're trying to do. So that's what I mean about not being able to afford getting hurt. So if you look at great white sharks, for example, they never attack you like head on. It's always from underneath or from behind. And tigers, same thing, which is why cultures like in the Indian culture, they wear masks on the back of their head when they're going out to like pick fruit and bananas and hunt and things like that, because it makes it appear as if they're looking directly at the tiger. I mean, obviously there still has been some instances where they will get attacked, but it's showing that, like I said, a predator almost is making sure everything is perfect in their advantage before they attack you. Because if a mountain lion attacks you and it breaks its paw and hurts its paw because you fight it off, what's going to happen now? That thing's doomed pretty much. I mean, it can no longer go after natural prey. It's going to 100% have to try to hunt people now. And then it's going to get disposed of. So, I mean, it's just super strange. Like I said, with the Beast of Bodmin, like why it wouldn't be consuming anything? Why would it have taken the energy and the attempt to be wounded by a large bull or a large horse or something and then not even consume any of it?
Okay. Now, what is this one? Can you tell?
That is actually down near like the land between the lakes area.
Land between the lakes.
Yeah, so that's down in Kentucky, near Tennessee. It's like a huge, basically like national forest area, and a ton of people have gone missing in there.
Okay.
Would that be the Smoky Mountain type area or no?
So the Smoky Mountains, I believe, is near the Appalachia. The LBL is like an area that was created, I believe, by, I think it was like JFK's group. They like flooded a bunch of indigenous grave sites and areas there, and a ton of people were displaced for them to make that like recreational areas. So it's like a man-made area, like in between Kentucky and like Tennessee. It's
kind of like an island on the river.
So yeah, so you can basically you can connect to Kentucky over across the lake over to Tennessee, but it's like a natural reservoir that was created. But like I said, a ton of indigenous cemeteries and things were flooded. So it's literally like right in the middle of land that should belong to Native Americans still, but has been like turned into recreational type things.
Cool. Well, I'm driving down to Tennessee next month or next week. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll be going through there. Well, I mean, without knowing, I would have just drove through without realizing it, but now I'm gonna definitely keep an eye out. And then okay, so there's that one. Let me get out of this one. Stop screen. All right, I'm gonna minimize this one. I'm gonna pull up a video real quick. I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Somebody pulled it up on they pulled it up on the, was it tinfoil hat? I think they just pulled it up on, what's his other one? Broken Simulation. And he goes, check out this. And he's like, what do you think this is? And he's like, dude, this shit's huge. And I don't know. You guys might be able to hear it. Hopefully you can. I'm going to try to pull it up real fast. Huge wolf. Can you see this okay? Can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
see it. Yeah.
I actually have this video covered on my page. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This is from like 8 years ago. I just heard of this, or I just saw this video today or 2 days ago.
Yeah. It's
Look
so
at this.
this is from like Michigan, and that so I have one person that thinks potentially that's a timber wolf, but I think potentially that's a dog man, because like if you look at, I mean, we have distanced ourselves from nature so much that we do tend to forget, like, I guess, how large animals can be. But a lot of times, if you look at wolves, man, they're not like necessarily scrawny, but wolves aren't really always the best fed, man, because
They cut.
they're trying to eat, they're trying to eat and stuff, man, all the time, and they're always having to travel and things. But if you look at that animal, look how large that is. That thing has been eating dang good all the time, and also it has that mane kind of behind its head, which is
Yes.
described a lot too. And then if you look at it, its front legs literally are so much longer looking than its back legs. They almost look like arms. And look at the pointed ears, dude. Look how far away this is, and look how large that is, man. Like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's jet black, which is also what is described a ton of times with the Dogman and stuff. Like, yeah, no, that's definitely some pretty intriguing footage right there,
Yeah. I mean, I've never. It almost looked like a horse for a second.
dude. It's
Like how
gargantuous.
big it is.
It's huge. I
Jeez.
mean, look at that right there.
It's
Yeah.
clearer than like most eyewitness videos that you see about cryptids, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it
It's
is.
not as fuzzy.
And then when the dog
Well-
yelped, the guy yelled, I jumped.
Well, that's a lot of
Brookestirr,
a lot of times it is unfortunate with like the fuzzy aspects, but a lot of people, I guess, don't tend to understand that to be able to. I mean, I have a brand new iPhone, but if I was to just pull it out real quick, your phone still has to take a second to focus.
Yeah.
And now picture you seeing something like that running across the field in front of you. Okay, so unless your phone was already in your hand filming some trees or something, you're now fumbling for your phone. You're unlocking it. You're opening your camera. So what's that take? Like what, 3-4 seconds maybe?
And you're shaking. You're shaking,
and
bro.
you're shaking now, and so the odds, so that thing's probably either already gone, so you're kind of getting just a quick little glimpse, or you're not going to necessarily get a really high quality thing. I have a pet squirrel, man. She doesn't just sit still for pictures, bro. like it's, and I don't know, man. Like, try just getting. I mean, sure, if you're a tame dog, but try just getting any animal really. Or I don't know, say you see a cool bird outside, you turn around to take your phone, you turn back around to take a picture of the cool woodpecker, it's gone. It flew away. Like, I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah.
the odds
Yeah.
of people, yeah, man, just getting a chance to get a quality image, it's just not really realistic, man. I mean, because the majority of people that are seeing these are hunters or hikers. And I mean, I don't hunt, but what are the odds of a hunter just, I mean, if you're out hunting and tracking a deer, are you walking around on your cell phone texting while you're doing that?
No.
Probably not, correct? So if you now see something like the dog man, you're going to pull your phone out first, you're going to raise your gun to look down the scope to get a better look. You're going to raise your gun to look down the scope, correct? Okay. Then you realize what it is. Okay, so now you're going to lower your gun, you're going to pull your phone out, and boom. I don't know, man. That like just doesn't really seem to be feasible for me.
Yeah.
That's a good explanation.
I do have a
Makes a lot
question
of
because
sense.
how you were talking about like hunting, and earlier you were talking about the lady said it seemed like it threw something at her car.
Yeah.
Do we know if they mimic human behavior or sounds? They entrap people.
Yes. So there are definitely a ton of cases where people say it sounds like a woman screaming or a man screaming out in the forest, and also followed by like fox or coyote or wolfish type like canine howls and things like that.
That's
Same
baiting.
thing. Yeah, baiting 100%. Other
Okay.
times, a lot of people think that it's just Sasquatch that throw rocks and bang on trees. That's not true. There's been a ton of cases where people have heard that, go in the direction of the sound, and they've had the encounter with the dog man. So yeah, no, 100%. They're definitely smart. They're definitely aware as to what's going on, and they definitely are gonna potentially try to lure you outside. I mean, look at what coyotes and wolves do to domesticated dogs. I mean, it's unfortunate. I've seen some of those on
Yeah.
YouTube because people shouldn't be leaving their dogs outside in territories like that. But people on their cams, you can see their dog outside, and it's not on a leash because the person doesn't think it needs to be. And what happens? A wolf or a coyote comes up maybe 20, 30 yards away, piques the dog's attention like, hey, come play. What's the dog do? It runs over there. As soon as it goes over there, 10, 15 coyotes or wolves come running in. They grab the dog, they carry it off. Boom, goodbye.
Done.
And I mean, I consider all animals smart because I mean they exist. But now, if you want to talk about something that potentially has more humanistic type behaviors, that's obviously it's going to set a trap for you. I mean, if wolves and things like that are capable of understanding how to set a trap, I mean, of course, a dog man would be.
Damn.
Do they have any natural predators? I mean, when you think about the sizes of them, you think they'd be at the top, but do you think there's any animals out there that may be like a contender for them?
To be quite honest with you, I would probably not. I would probably say their biggest type of interaction would be maybe dealing with like grizzly bears or like Sasquatches and things like that. But I would say
Okay.
it's probably like any other predator. I mean, if you ever watch like videos from Yellowstone, I mean, there's been times you see a grizzly bear with a fresh kill, and then you see like 4 or 5 wolves come over and be like, yo, we're taking this from you. And the bear's like, I don't think so. Wolves are like, yeah, I think so. And you watch them lay right down and just be like, hey, we got all day. I'm coming for that.
Yeah.
But they also don't go out of their way to get into a confrontation. You see like they'll go over and act like they will, but then they'll sit down. And so it's kind of like I don't know, like a respect thing also, where they don't necessarily purposely try to go into each other's territories. But I mean, it's, if you come across it, like if I'm with 4 or 5 of my wolves and I'm hungry and you just took something down, I'm going to press you, maybe see like what we can get out of it. I mean, why not? You just did all the legwork.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. Hey man, this was educational. You know what I'm saying?
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys taking the time to actually give me a chance to come on and speak with you and everything, man. So, I mean, I'm definitely always down to collaborate some more. And once, like I said, we get our podcast up, kicking, we'll definitely get you guys on there. But no, I mean, feel free to always keep in touch. And if you ever have questions about things and I can help you out, make sure to let me know. And I mean, you can either hit me up in the Discord or just shoot me a text directly. I tend to answer those more quickly. But like I said, I mean, pretty much my Facebook page and my YouTube are going to be the pages where I always put up everything as I come.
You want to shout those out real fast? I think Code has them up, but you want to shout them out?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. It's just Star Fox with a lowercase s _ media. So StarFox _ media, MEDIA.
Yeah, for
Nice.
sure, man. And I got your YouTube up too. So
Yeah,
if
no, I
anybody wants
appreciate
to
that. Appreciate
like
that.
and subscribe. He's
Yeah,
got
I
a bunch
gotta
of
get
dope
my
content.
monetization going, man. But you know how YouTube is. I got I think I'm up to like, man, 1,500 viewing hours, but they won't monetize you until you hit like 4,000 viewing hours. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
definitely.
I mean, I've been looking at your stuff. Like it's not small time, man. You got big time numbers.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it, bro. It definitely takes a. So that's I love creating content, but that's what YouTube kind of yerks me a little bit, is they want you to potentially put out longer content. But the thing is, yeah, so see right there on the bottom, man, that's where if I don't have you guys up yet, after I get done with you, I'm going to put you guys up there, because if you hit that little arrow, it scans over too, and it shows you like other people that I have suggested pages. There you go.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I got to get so I got to get you guys up down there. But yeah, no, so it's just super hard. I personally feel like, I don't know, man, when people put out super long things that are like a couple hours long, I don't know, man, I lose interest, and I almost feel like I'm having to drag myself through listening to it. But that's how you kind of get more viewing hours. But I'm not about prefabricating stuff. And if your encounter was 6 minutes long, well, that's your encounter. That's great. Like, I don't want you
fluff it out.
No, man, like it, and if your encounter is a half hour long, all right, man, like that's great too. But also, as you saw some of the different things, being a graphics designer and videographer, if you click on the playlist, I try to separate basically my page into, because I had previous viewers, say if they have no interest whatsoever in the Dogman, say they're interested in my sports videos or the music videos I've worked on, or they like the comedic stuff I've done, they can still come to my page and view the things they enjoy without having to dive into other stuff. So I just tried to just be courteous for my audience and realize that you're going to have some people there for the sports stuff you've done, and some that want to see the Dogman stuff. And I don't know, if someone doesn't want to watch the Dogman, I don't want them to unsubscribe to me. I want them to still be able to just click on that and skip all that and still watch what they want to watch.
Yeah, gotcha. Definitely, man. Dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. This
man.
This was so much fun. It's like
definitely blew minds, bro.
You're like our first. You're like our first guest that's like not working in our office with us.
No, I appreciate that, man.
And you came in hot, dog.
Man.
Hot.
No, I appreciate the kind words, man. And like I said, anyway, I'm able to help you all out. And anyway, things like this are just a really good way to get the North American Dogman Project out there, and also try to help educate people that do want to learn about things, and just really put out proper information and try to make it as easy as possible. I mean, my goal is just to try to make a couple clicks and people can just see everything.
Yeah, that's freaking dope, dude. Yeah, man. And thank you again. If you want us to shout anything else out, like we'll definitely put everything in the links in our descriptions and everything.
Yeah,
too.
no, perfect.
Whatever else you want or need in there.
No, definitely. I mean, I guess just on a final note, I guess just verbally again, I'll just make sure to thanks Shane Michael Crisp and Jody Cook and the North American Dogman Project for giving me a platform and believing in my capabilities and the information I was able to provide and bringing me on. And make sure to give a shout out to my teammate Brookestirr on our podcast, Midnight Lycanthropy, because she's great and really helped me out a lot as well, and been super loyal and eager to learn. And also make sure to just give Matt Emsch and Planet 412 a big shout out as well, because he's really helped me out too.
And they were on here too, weren't they?
Yeah, he's done a ton of narration for me and popped onto my page. So I mean, I'm sure I'm always gonna miss people, but anyone that has given me a chance to work with me, and Midnight Century, Lyle, Deborah, all those people right there, all people that I definitely have a lot of love for, and Matt Harvey right there at Deep Woods Paranormal. So yeah, Grizzly on the Hunt. But yeah, no. So I mean, I only put people up there that have been kind to me, and also that I support what they do and stuff, because like I said, man, I mean, I never talk publicly bad about anyone, but people that have actually taken time to speak to me are ones that I go out of my way to support back. So
definitely, man. And
you're a giver, bro. You're a giver.
I'll definitely follow them back too, or I'll follow them as well.
Yeah, no, they're all great people, and they all put out really good content too. And I mean, they're all, I'm sure you can definitely find some stuff up on there you're interested in. And I mean, the thing with me is, like I said, I'm kind of, I guess, a one-trick pony because I do the Dogman, but I mean, I purposely do that because I need to bring clarity to the topic. So I mean, it's not like as I said, I wouldn't, say if Teddy was like, hey man, like I saw, a UFO and starts talking to me about it, I'm going to listen to him. I'm not going to nub you or anything like that, but I'm going to send you to somebody that documents the UFO connections and that can answer your questions better. And that can actually, help you get what it is you need to learn from it and have the proper information for you. Because I mean, I can tell you about Dogman, but I know about UFOs, but I just don't feel like I would be doing a proper service to the individual because I'm not going to document it,
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Well, hey, dude, thank you so much for jumping on. Definitely, if we start our Mount Crushmore, you're on there. So
I appreciate you, man. Definitely. Yeah, I will send you my number too, man, and pass it on to everybody. And honestly, the best way to get a hold of me, dude, is just shoot me a text, man. I mean, like I said, I'll always answer my Discord or my Facebook messages and stuff, but I always start with my cell phone because it's in my face. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, that's all on my cell phone, but text message is on my first page. So
no, for sure.
All right, man.
All right, dude. Well, have a good night. And
yeah, man. Thanks for everything. And
definitely
make
keep
sure,
in touch.
yeah, definitely make sure you send this over to me when you get it all done.
So, all right, dude. Well,
All
thank you
right,
again.
man.
All right, man. Well,
Take it
thanks,
easy.
everybody. I appreciate
All right.
it, and I'll talk to y'all very soon.
All right, man. See you.
No doubt.
TBD, you got a thought for the day?
Yes, sir, I do.
Because I was late.
Oh, but I keep the thought.
He left us. Oh, my neck.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, pop that shit. Oh, TBD, where you be?
Oh, just text it to me. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, I'm here. You guys couldn't hear me that whole time. I was still talking.
No.
No.
Okay. Okay, but I do have a thought for today to you. I just had to refresh myself with it.
Cool.
Um,
Oh, wait. I got a segment real quick. Just
Okay.
Real fast. It's called Cryptid Trivia. All right.
Trivia.
Yeah. So, what American actress believes aliens implanted tracking chips and programmed false memories in her husband? A. Fran Drescher, B. Megan Fox, C. Angelina Jolie, or D. Anne Hathaway?
Wait, say that again.
Hey,
The whole thing? The whole thing or just the names?
Just the name.
A. Fran Drescher, B. Megan Fox, C. Angelina Jolie, or D. Anne Hathaway?
hey.
What did you say? You said A. What did you say?
C. Jolie.
It was A. Fran Drescher.
Okay.
And Jolie
Really?
was C. Yeah.
The nanny.
Okay. So hopefully we'll do that a little bit more. We'll have our own little segment for that. But
Okay.
TBD, hit us with the thought for the day.
The thought for the day. People don't want to hear the truth because it destroys their illusion.
And I'm wearing your shirt you bought me. All about conspiracies.
I'm wearing that song you bought me too. You know that?
Yuck. All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. It was a lot of fun. We definitely went way longer than we normally do.
Yeah.
We're gonna drop this as one big part. I'm not gonna break it up. I
Okay.
probably won't even.
All together.
I don't even think I'll have to do any editing except for editing out TBD coughing. No, I'm kidding.
My bad.
It's sideways. It's sideways.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, the sideways.
The cranberry
thing.
juice was just too strong.
Nah. But-
Yo, I had a full fucking cup straight gin. I'm done with it.
Jeez. I
No
have
juice
water.
to mix with it.
Pre-workout.
I know,
Well, hey,
man. Times is hard, you know.
yeah. Well, hey, I gotta end this just because that way we can get him out of here.
All right,
I
man.
gotta
Okay.
hurry up and download it. But hey, TBD, any words of wisdom besides your thought for today?
Don't walk in the woods alone.
Ooh. I like that. Chance?
All right, man. I'm out.
You out? All right,
Peace.
cool. Stay safe, stay blessed, and keep on questioning. We out.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts, far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. I am not asking your newspapers to support, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. To the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.